Let me ask you a serious question. What separates the small group of seniors who remain sharp, active, and independent after 80 from the rest who slowly fade into weakness, dependency, and isolation? It's not luck, it's not magic, and it's not just genetics. It's functionality. It's the ability to do 5 key things that, according to doctors and geriatric health studies, are directly tied to long life, freedom, and vibrant health. Now here's the shocking truth. Only 5% of people over 80 can still do all 5. That means 95 out of 100 seniors gradually lose one or more of these abilities, and once that decline starts, it rarely stops. One misstep turns into fear of falling. One skipped walk turns into muscle loss. One lost ability turns into needing full-time care. But those 5%, they're doing something differently. They're defying the odds. And you know what? Many of them didn't start out strong. Many had setbacks, surgeries, chronic diseases. Some lost loved ones. Some battled loneliness. But they did something the rest didn't. They protected these 5 abilities like their life depended on it, because it does. In this 6-part series, I'm going to show you exactly what these 5 physical and mental capabilities are, why they matter so much after 80, and how you can start reclaiming them today, even if you've already lost one. Because it's never too late to get stronger, more balanced, and more confident in your body again. But first, we need to set the stage. Let's talk about what aging really looks like for most people after 80. Because once you understand the trap, you'll be far more motivated to avoid it. Most seniors after 80 begin to enter what doctors call the frailty zone. That's a clinical term, frailty. And it's not about age, it's about function. It means a person is walking slower, losing strength, fatigued easily, and is at greater risk of falls, hospitalizations, and death. Frailty doesn't happen overnight. It builds up from decades of sedentary habits, poor nutrition, lost muscle, and unchallenged balance. And once someone becomes frail, it's like a cascade effect. Every system of the body weakens faster. But here's the inspiring part. Frailty is preventable, and in many cases, it's reversible. The seniors who stay out of this danger zone, they're the ones who keep moving, who stay mentally alert, who challenge their balance and mobility every day, who prioritize protein, hydration, strength, and sleep. They don't wait until they feel frail to act. They act to stay ahead of it. Now let me tell you something that will shift your perspective. In a large gerontology study published in the Journal of Aging and Health, researchers found that older adults who could maintain 5 specific daily capabilities had twice the chance of reaching 90+ in good health. Not just living longer, but living stronger. So what are these 5 things only 5% of seniors can still do after 80? They are: get up from the floor without using their hands, climb a full flight of stairs without stopping, walk a half mile without assistance, lift and carry 10 to 15 pounds comfortably, balance on one foot for 10 seconds or longer. Each of these might sound simple at first glance, but when you're 80, they're powerful indicators of total body function: muscle, joint health, core strength, heart and lung capacity, proprioception, and nervous system balance. The power of rising from the floor, the ultimate longevity test. Of all the 5 abilities that define functional independence after 80, this one is the most underrated and overlooked. Can you get up from the floor without using your hands? At first glance, it seems like a simple movement, a basic physical task. But in reality, this ability is one of the most powerful predictors of longevity, fall recovery, and total body resilience. Let me explain. In a landmark Brazilian study involving over 2,000 adults aged 51 to 80, researchers found that individuals who could sit and rise from the floor without using their hands, knees, or support had a significantly lower risk of death over the next 6 years. In fact, those with the lowest scores on this test were 5 to 6 times more likely to die during the study period. Why? Because this movement reflects multiple systems working together: muscle strength, joint flexibility, balance, core coordination, and nervous system control. When you're 30 or 40, you don't think twice about getting off the ground. But as we age, everything from arthritis to muscle loss to poor balance makes this motion harder. And if you fall or collapse and can't rise again, without help, it becomes a medical emergency. That's why doctors now refer to this as the sit-to-rise longevity test. It's not about convenience, it's about survival. Here's the thing: most people after 80 lose this ability because they stop practicing it. You don't use it, you lose it. We stop sitting on the ground. We avoid kneeling. We forget how to shift our weight. We become stiff, hesitant, and fragile. And once the brain starts believing the floor is dangerous, the body follows by tensing up and avoiding it altogether. But what if I told you that you can relearn this skill, that it's never too late to train your body to move with more grace and confidence? Because thousands of seniors have done just that, with intention, patience, and simple daily practice. Let's talk about how. First, assess yourself safely. Sit on the floor with support nearby, a chair or sturdy coffee table. Try standing up without using your hands. If you can't do it, don't worry. That's your baseline. Now, here's how to rebuild this vital ability. Leg strengthening. Do chair squats daily. Sit and stand 10 to 15 times from a firm chair without using your hands. This builds quads, glutes, and hip stability. Core activation. Practice pelvic tilts and seated marches. These strengthen the deep muscles that stabilize your spine and pelvis. Flexibility work. Stretch your hip flexors, hamstrings, and calves gently every morning. When joints move freely, the body moves efficiently. Controlled descent practice. Practice sitting down on a cushion on the floor, using one hand at first if needed, then working toward using less support over time. Get up training. Once on the floor, roll to your side, place one foot flat, push up with your opposite hand, and rise to a kneeling position. Then plant one foot forward and stand. Repeat this 1 to 2 times a day with supervision. The key here is to stay consistent. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to tell your body, we're going to keep this skill alive. With just 5 to 10 minutes a day of dedicated practice, most seniors regain remarkable ease in this motion within weeks. And here's something emotional I want you to hear. Being able to get off the floor without help is about more than survival. It's about dignity. It means you can garden again, play with your grandkids on the carpet, stretch out to do morning exercises, pray, dance, live. This simple movement unlocks a sense of freedom. Freedom from fear, from embarrassment, from dependency. That's why it's the first and most sacred of the 5 longevity movements. And you can protect it even after 80. The strength to rise. Why climbing a full flight of stairs without stopping predicts heart and lung health after 80. There's something so symbolic, almost heroic, about a person in their 80s confidently walking up a full flight of stairs without hesitation. No gasping, no resting on the railing, just pure, steady strength. In fact, doctors often say that if you want to know whether a senior will still be alive and independent 5 years from now, don't check their blood pressure, watch them climb a staircase. Why? Because climbing stairs is one of the most powerful predictors of cardiovascular health, lung capacity, and muscular endurance in older adults. It activates every major muscle group in your lower body: quadriceps, hamstrings, glutes, and calves. It demands coordination from your joints and stability from your core. But most importantly, it challenges your heart and lungs to deliver oxygen efficiently. And here's the truth. By 80, most people can't do it, or won't. They avoid stairs at all costs. Elevators become the default. One short climb leaves them winded, lightheaded, or sore. But that decline didn't happen overnight. It came from years of choosing comfort over challenge. And every time the stairs were avoided, strength was lost. Yet in studies from cardiology and gerontology clinics across Europe and the US, seniors who could climb 10 to 12 steps without rest had up to 40% lower risk of death from all causes. That includes heart attacks, strokes, respiratory illness, and complications from immobility. Climbing stairs is like a stress test your body performs for you every day. And if you can still pass it at 80 or beyond, you're already beating the odds. But what if you can't? What if stairs scare you now? The good news is, just like rising from the floor, this is a skill you can rebuild. Even if you haven't climbed stairs in years, your body is listening. And it wants to grow strong again if you give it a reason. Let's start with daily strengthening habits that rebuild the muscles and stamina needed for stairs. Step-ups, low surface. Use a sturdy platform 4 to 6 inches high. Step up with your right foot, then your left. Step down. Repeat 10 to 15 times per leg, once or twice a day. This mimics the stair motion. Wall sits. Stand against a wall. Slide down into a gentle squat. Hold for 10 to 30 seconds. This activates your thigh and hip muscles, critical for climbing. Seated marches. Sit in a sturdy chair and lift one knee at a time. Do 20 reps. This activates the hip flexors and core, essential for lifting your foot on each step. Breathing drills. Practice slow, deep breathing while walking. Inhale through the nose for 4 counts. Exhale through the mouth for 6. This strengthens lung control and oxygen efficiency. Mini stair practice. If you have access to 2 to 3 steps, begin by climbing just 1 step up and down slowly, holding a rail if needed. Over time, add more steps and reduce the support. Safety first. If you have knee pain, arthritis, or dizziness, speak with your doctor or physical therapist before attempting full stair climbs. But don't give up. There's always a progression. And here's something I always remind my patients. Climbing stairs isn't just physical, it's mental. It says, I can rise. I can go higher. I still have elevation in me. It's a symbol of autonomy, of still reaching up, even in your later years. If you've ever visited an older person who can no longer go upstairs in their own home, you know how quickly life gets limited. Bedrooms are relocated. Bathrooms become difficult. That little staircase becomes a wall. But for those who keep the ability to climb, doors stay open. Independence remains. Now imagine this. You're 84. You've just come back from the store. You carry your small grocery bag up your front steps, steady, unshaken. You feel your heart beating strong, your legs stable. You pause at the top, not because you're breathless, but because you're grateful. That is what these small exercises give you. Not just health, but pride. The 30-minute lifeline. Why walking half a mile without help predicts longevity, mood, and brain power. If you want to know whether someone over 80 will still be living independently next year, don't check their cholesterol. Don't look at their weight. Just watch them walk. Specifically, watch whether they can walk half a mile, roughly 1,000 steps, without assistance. No cane, no walker, no person holding their arm. That ability alone predicts how long they'll live, how well their brain will function, and how soon they'll need full-time care. Walking endurance is so powerful, it's now considered a functional vital sign by geriatric doctors. It's not just about mobility. It reflects cardiovascular strength, joint coordination, balance, oxygen efficiency, muscular stamina, and neuromotor function, all in one simple movement. Walking half a mile without stopping means your entire system is still integrated and resilient. But by the time most people reach 80, this distance becomes a challenge. Not because the body forgot how to walk, but because years of slowing down led to deconditioning. Here's what happens. We stop walking long distances out of habit. Muscle mass slowly declines, called sarcopenia. Joints stiffen, posture weakens. Lung capacity reduces. Fatigue shows up faster. Fear of falling makes us hesitant. And then when we need to walk, say at an airport, hospital, or family gathering, we realize we can't. In research from the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, seniors over 70 who could walk at least 0.5 miles per day had over 40% lower risk of cognitive decline and death within the next 5 years. Why? Because walking isn't just a leg exercise. It stimulates brain circulation, builds bone density, improves insulin sensitivity, reduces depression, and strengthens the immune system. So what can you do if you currently struggle with walking distance? Let's build it back, gently, safely, and daily. Here's a 4-week plan for walking independence. Week 1, baseline movement. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Walk at a comfortable pace, indoors or outdoors. Note how far you got and how you felt. Rest as needed. Do this twice per day. Week 2, increase by intervals. Add 1 to 2 minutes every 2 days. Use music or audio to stay motivated. Focus on upright posture, head up, shoulders back, gentle swing in arms. Week 3, distance focus. Measure out 0.25 miles, about 400 steps, or 2 to 3 city blocks. Walk that distance once per day, then twice. If balance is shaky, walk near a wall or railing. Safety first. Week 4, sustain the half-mile walk. 0.5 miles, 5 to 6 days a week. Do it in one go if possible. If not, take a short break halfway. If pain, arthritis, or neuropathy makes this difficult, use aquatic walking in a pool or a recumbent indoor bike to simulate the motion with less impact. The key is endurance, not speed. You're training your heart, lungs, and body to move freely without fear. And don't underestimate the mental benefits of walking. In studies on Alzheimer's prevention, seniors who walked at least 30 minutes a day had better memory, focus, and emotional well-being than those who didn't. Walking boosts endorphins, clears the mind, and reconnects you to your environment. Also, there's something emotionally powerful about walking unassisted. It says to the world, I'm still moving forward. It's about more than steps. It's about momentum. When you walk confidently, you feel less like a patient and more like a person in control. Carrying strength. Why lifting 10 to 15 pounds comfortably predicts independence, longevity, and confidence. There's a quiet dignity in being able to lift and carry your own groceries, or move a laundry basket, or pick up a small grandchild. For people over 80, this kind of functional strength isn't just a matter of convenience. It's a signal of independence, muscle preservation, and aging success. And that's why the ability to lift and carry 10 to 15 pounds comfortably makes our list of the 5 essential capabilities that only 5% of seniors maintain after 80. Let's put this into perspective. A gallon of milk weighs about 8.5 pounds. A medium grocery bag usually weighs between 10 and 15 pounds. So the simple act of carrying 2 grocery bags up a flight of stairs or from the car to the kitchen is a full-body test. It requires hand grip strength, forearm and bicep activation, shoulder stability, core engagement, leg strength, and balance. And it tells doctors far more than you might think. Studies show that seniors with higher grip strength live longer, recover faster from illness, have fewer falls, and even have lower rates of cognitive decline. In fact, grip strength has been called a biomarker of aging. Why is grip so important? Because it reflects more than just your hands. It's a stand-in for total body function. When your nervous system, muscles, and joints are communicating well, grip strength is high. When your body is under stress, metabolic, nutritional, or neurological, it weakens. And when you stop lifting things altogether, when someone else carries the bags, lifts the laundry, opens the jars, your muscles begin to shrink, your tendons stiffen, and your independence fades faster than you realize. Now here's the good news. Strength loss after 60 is not inevitable. It's reversible. And it doesn't take hours in a gym to restore it. With a few basic daily movements and intentional lifting, most seniors can rebuild strength in weeks. Here's how to train your lifting and carrying ability safely after 60 or 70. Grocery bag carries, light. Fill a tote bag with light items, books, cans, water bottles. Walk across the room with 1 bag in each hand. Do this once or twice a day. Gradually add more weight over time. Farmer's carries. Use light dumbbells, soup cans, or water jugs. Hold 1 in each hand, shoulders down, core tight. Walk slowly for 30 seconds. Rest, repeat. Deadlifts with a backpack. Stand with a backpack full of soft weight, towels, books. Hinge at the hips. Bend your knees and lift the bag from the floor using your legs. Keep your back flat. This trains safe lifting form. Seated bicep curls. With light weights, curl your arms up while seated. 10 reps per arm, twice a day. Builds forearm and upper arm strength. Grip squeezes. Use a tennis ball, towel, or grip trainer. Squeeze and hold for 5 seconds. Relax. Do 10 reps per hand. Great for hand strength and coordination. Do all of these slowly and mindfully. You're not training for powerlifting. You're training for real life, for groceries, for laundry, for bags, for hugs, for confidence. And remember, lifting doesn't just strengthen muscles, it strengthens your identity. When you can still carry your own bag, you feel less like a burden, more capable, more respected. That emotional strength matters just as much as the physical kind. Many of my older patients tell me how good it feels when they no longer need help lifting something simple. I opened that stubborn jar myself, Doc. I brought in all the bags without stopping once. These small victories are massive. They say, I'm still strong, I'm still me. The 10-second rule. Balance and the #1 predictor of falling, hospitalization, and recovery speed after 80. Here we are, the final and perhaps most urgent of the 5 vital abilities that only 5% of people maintain after the age of 80. Balancing on 1 foot for at least 10 seconds. It seems so simple, so minor. But this one skill reveals more about your body's aging clock than most high-tech scans or blood tests. Because balance isn't just about posture. It's about brain health, nerve function, muscle coordination, and joint stability, working together in real time. In fact, Studies from the British Journal of Sports Medicine show that people over 70 who can't balance on one foot for 10 seconds are twice as likely to die in the next 10 years, even if they don't have any known health conditions. Why? Because poor balance doesn't just lead to falls, it reflects hidden neurological decline, lost coordination, and slowed brain-body response times. Think of it like this. Every second you can balance on one foot after 80 is like a signal your body sends that says, I'm still sharp, I'm still connected. And if you can't do it today, don't worry. You can train it, like a muscle, and I'll show you how. But first, let's understand why balance matters so much after 80. As we age, several factors quietly chip away at our balance. Muscle loss, especially in the ankles and hips. Joint stiffness, less movement in knees, hips, spine. Vestibular decline, your inner ear's balance system. Vision changes. Eyes guide balance more than you realize. Slower brain response takes longer to detect and correct instability. The result? Seniors who once walked with confidence start to shuffle. They avoid curbs, uneven surfaces, getting into bathtubs, or walking in the dark. This leads to fewer steps, weaker muscles, more falls, and a dangerous spiral toward fragility. But the rare 5% who can still balance on one foot, they walk with purpose. They stand taller. They get out of chairs without grabbing something. And they recover from stumbles faster. Let's train this ability, safely and daily. Step 1, baseline test. Stand near a wall or countertop. Lift one foot slightly off the ground. Time how long you can hold without touching down or grabbing anything. Repeat with the other leg. If you can't reach 10 seconds, don't panic. Most people over 75 can't either. That's why we train it. Step 2, daily practice, 3 to 5 minutes. Supported stand. Hold onto a countertop with one hand, lift one foot, and hold for 15 seconds. Switch legs. Repeat 3 times per leg. Eyes open, no support. Try standing without holding anything. Eyes open, one foot lifted. Work toward 10 seconds. Eyes closed challenge. Only attempt this while lightly touching a counter. Close your eyes while lifting one foot. This trains inner ear balance. Step 3, functional movements. Heel to toe walking. Walk in a straight line, placing one foot directly in front of the other. This mimics a tightrope and trains coordination. Step overs. Place an object, like a rolled towel, on the floor and step over it slowly, focusing on control. These drills work best if done barefoot, on a firm surface, and preferably at the same time each day, like after brushing your teeth. Here's what I want you to know. Balance is a skill, and like any skill, you either train it or you lose it. Most people lose it by neglect, but if you train it just 5 minutes a day, you can dramatically reduce your risk of falls, fractures, especially hip fractures, emergency hospital visits, assisted living admission, loss of independence, and that's not all. Improved balance brings back confidence. You'll walk into a room without hesitation, step into a shower without fear, reach for a shelf without wobbling. These are not small victories, they're freedom. Let me tell you a story. One of my patients, Linda, age 84, came to me after 2 falls in a year. She said, "Doctor, I'm scared to walk around my own house." We worked on her balance with the exact drills I just shared. 3 months later, not only could Linda balance for 15 seconds on each foot, but she told me something I'll never forget. "I feel like I got my legs and my life back." And that's what I want for you. If you've made it through all 6 parts of this journey, Congratulations! You now know the 5 abilities only 5% of seniors still have after 80. Get up from the floor without using your hands. Climb a full flight of stairs without stopping. Walk half a mile without assistance. Lift and carry 10 to 15 pounds easily. Balance on one foot for 10 seconds or more. If you can maintain or regain just 3 out of 5, your odds of staying healthy, independent, and alive for years to come skyrocket. So here's your mission. Start today. Pick one skill. Commit 5 minutes to it. Then tomorrow, do the next. Your body is listening, and it wants to fight for you. Comment below. Which skill will you work on first? Share this video with a senior friend or family member who needs to hear it. Subscribe to our channel for more practical senior health advice from me, Dr. James Hartley. You've got more strength in you than you think. Let's unlock it, one powerful movement at a time.